right, so we have the last talk, the last lightning talk coming up now. Let's hear someone who has helped us shape how millions of site owners interact with Google tools. With over 50 years in tech, from search quality to developer advocacy and product management, she now leads SiteKit, Google's official WordPress plugin, which grew to over 4 million installs in just 5 years. Well done. Her journey started with classical Japanese literature, interesting, and even included beekeeping. So it's safe to stay with her. She brings a unique perspective to product design.
I didn't bring any bees, don't worry.
Okay, very good. So welcome to Maria Amueva. She's going to talk about what we learned from building SiteKit and how you can apply this to your website. Give her a big hand.
Thanks, everyone. It's great to be here. It's great to be back at WordCamp. And for me, based in Zurich, it's just a short train right away. So it's really good to be here. So SiteKit is Google's official WordPress plugin. And we started back in 2020, 2019, actually. And we've been really iterating, experimenting, figuring out a lot of things on the way. We learned a lot of things the hard way. So today, in 10 minutes, I wanted to share 3 things that we learned the hard way with you, so hopefully you can apply them the easy way to your websites or to your clients' websites. So a little bit about me. You got a sneak preview just now, but I'm based out of Zurich, and I'm a product manager currently, but I started with computers way back when there was CRT screens and the colors were only black and green. It's been a long story to today with smart glasses and so forth. I also am a beekeeper in my free time, so I have some teams that I organize of 50, 60,000 workers. And then, yeah, I did study classical Japanese literature, which of course is the best way to get into Google. So I've been all over the place in different roles and have seen many different aspects of the web. I started actually in web spam, the web spam team at Google, so I saw everything about how the web should not be. And after a couple of years there, before I lost my faith in humanity, I switched to a role where we actually try to help people to build a better web. And since then, I've been working with site owners, with agencies, with everybody here in the WordPress community to make websites more successful and the web thriving. And over the last 5 years, I've been the product lead for SiteKit, and so I want to talk today about SiteKit itself and what we learned from building it. When we started thinking about how SiteKit should look like and what we need to build to be helpful, my first thought was to go to the actual people that need it. And so I just went out in my neighborhood and stopped by different shops, like the ice cream shop around the corner. Actually, when I bought this watch, I happened to ask the shop owner if he has a site. Turned out to be a WordPress site, so I basically took over his lunch break, talking about what he would need from us. And these kind of themes came up consistently again and again. People want stuff to be curated. They don't want to go to 17 different dashboards. They want everything to be possible to set up without really being a technical expert. And they also want the information to be explained to them. So not just showing stats, but also telling them what to do with it. So with all of that, we set out to build SiteKit. And it's today one of the top 10 plugins with over actually 5 million active installs now in 700,000 people who use it monthly. So it's been great to see that it has been useful to so many people, but it definitely hasn't been an easy way to get here. And so I wanted to share what we've learned and hopefully some takeaways from you. The first challenge that we had is that on the one hand, there were all these very powerful, complicated Google products. Like think about analytics and its 3 different levels of navigation and 27 reports, AdSense, Search Console, a lot of really rich and useful data, but sometimes very hard to find data. And also, each of these products has its own setup flow with very technical and sometimes mostly actually always requiring to edit your site in order to set it up. And so we had this on the one side, and on the other side, we had the watch shop guy who doesn't know how to edit his website, and the WordPress site with an open database. So our first challenge was to figure out how to share that information from AdSense, from Search Console, from other products, directly into the WordPress site and make it secure and easy to use. And we spent a lot of time experimenting and learning how to do this. In fact, we released a developer version of our plugin, which was a little bit more complicated to set up, but got us our first 100, 200,000 users, and we got some really good feedback. And in the meantime, we kept iterating, and in the end, we landed on this answer: simplify and automate. So we started using Google's public APIs, which allowed us to automate a lot of the steps of the setup process. So in the case of Scikit, you're able, with one click, to set up Search Console, which normally would be maybe, I don't know, optimistically, half-an-hour process. And also, we built a proxy service which helped us with authentication and verification of users, meaning that all this kind of complicated technical stuff that people were supposed to do on their own was now taken care of. And as a result, the setup today, the basic setup, is under a minute. And we're able to place tags on behalf of users and to automate a lot of the stuff that gives people headaches. So a takeaway for you from this, if you have a website or if you run a bunch of websites, save yourself some time and bring the things that you need to look at one place. Whether this is with Scikit and setting up the dashboard, pulling in analytics, Search Console, AdSense, what have you, or whether you make your own Looker Studio dashboard, curate and simplify and make sure that as you drink your morning coffee in 10 minutes, you can see the critical things that you need to know, versus going through 17 different dashboards and trying to connect the dots. The other challenge that we had is that this richness of data in the products sometimes obfuscates the story, and people really struggle to understand which data they should look at to make decisions about their website. And so we had to negotiate this complexity into some kind of structured dashboard. Obviously, you can't stuff all of analytics or all of Search Console or all of AdSense into WordPress admin. So there's all this data. How do we make sense of it? How do we help people do something with it, make actionable decisions? Here again, we did a lot of iterations. We first started with a dashboard that was looking per product. So we had an analytics section, and a Search Console section, an AdSense section. This didn't really make sense for people. Then we started with the type of data. And finally, we landed on something which actually was pivoted to the questions that people ask. So our dashboard today is structured around the top questions people have usually about their site. You know, am I getting traffic? How many people came? How is my content doing? Is my site fast? Am I making money? And we broke the product boundaries, so we pull from different APIs to create something that makes sense for people. The other thing that we saw is that even with this simplified dashboard that's arranged according to people's needs, a lot of people still struggle to figure out which specific numbers they should pay attention to. And so in the end, we figured out that we need sort of a translation device, and we built a feature where you can answer a simple question in human language: what is the purpose of your site? And you will get a curated set of metrics right at the top of your dashboard that is personalized to you and to your site purpose. It's customized to everybody, so everyone's Scikit dashboard looks different. And in the end, you can also change it in the dashboard if you don't want a particular metric. But you can see, as a newspaper headline, right up top with your morning coffee, how you're doing, and maybe you don't need to dig any deeper. Or maybe you need to scroll down, or maybe you even need to go to dig deeper into analytics. But our goal was this coffee cup test. Can people get the basics exactly with their morning coffee and be on their way to do other more important things? Because, let's be honest, nobody starts a business in order to look at an analytics dashboard. And for you, what this means, potentially, you've seen a lot of articles when you're starting a new business. You go out looking for information. What should I measure? What's important? There's a lot of focus on things like rankings and impressions. But actually, what matters is you have to go back and look at how your website has been created and for what purpose, and then connect specific stats exactly to that. And then don't have, I don't know, 10 or 15 different things that you look at, but instead narrow it down to kind of your own newspaper headline that you can keep track of and share with customers or with your team every day. And this will save you a lot of time and help you make better decisions. So then the last challenge that we have and we continue to work on today is actually telling the full story. So not just connecting the dots, but also helping people understand the full journey of visitors to their site. Not how many came, but did they buy that fondue set at the end? Or did they sign up for your class? And for this, we actually realized after a bunch of experimentation that the best way would be not to pull only what's available by default from the various Google products, but actually to create metrics for people. So this is what Scikit does today for users who decide to activate this feature. It will actually hook into particular events on the site, and then it will create conversion events for you and send them to analytics, so you get the full picture of what people are doing on your site. And this is very valuable data because it doesn't exist normally. You need to put a lot of effort to edit and put the right code to fire at the right time. But we automate all of this, and then as a result, you can get information like which cities are driving the most add to cart, or which pages are driving the most leads, depending on what your final conversion is. We also realized that simplification doesn't always mean that everything should be super basic. So this was another hard lesson. Sometimes you need to refine the data in order to help people make better decisions with it. And so we did here audience segmentation, helping people understand that not all visitors are the same. And as a result, they're able to adjust their strategy. And for the new, for the returning, for the subscribers or other groups, have something else. So for you, figure out what are the baselines for your different visitor groups and make a strategy for each of them so that then you're able to take action and to grow depending on the type of interest for that specific audience. And those are just 3 of the things that we learned the hard way. If you want to hear a lot more, because there's definitely over the last 5 years more interesting things, or if you just want to see a demo of Scikit, come over to our booth. And I'm happy to chat with you, either in person or later after the event. Thanks.
Thank you, Maria. Thank you.